morning to all of these amazing power moms. I am super excited to host this panel and really find out a little bit more about what brings our moms joy and how they lean in and pivot as power moms. Loving the red lip and scarf ELV. You never disappoint. Adrienne, Wendy, Kita, hello and welcome.
Hello. Good morning.
So thanks everyone out there for joining us today. Like Melissa mentioned, my name is Rachel Jarvis Bossard, but for simplicity, let's just call me RJB today. I am the manager of partner success here at the Mom Project. And again, the absolute pleasure of moderating this panel. Now, I joined the Mom Project about 2 years ago. And like Melissa said, I was just looking for a company that was going to show up for me. I'd had a COVID baby, and there was some struggles with kind of getting back to hybrid work. It wasn't working with my life. It wasn't bringing me joy, guys. So enter the Mom Project. They kind of reached out to me, and it was just a universe saying, giving me a hand and being like, this is your path. This is what's going to show up for you, and this is what's going to bring you joy. I've had so much passion in my role here and connecting with other moms. So I'm going to let these other fabulous women introduce themselves before we start the conversation. And we'll start off with Wendy.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first Mother's Monday, so they threw me all in right into the speaking circuit. So I'm the VP of Brand and Marketing Communications. I am in Chicagoland, and I am a mom of two boys, older boys, and have had quite a diverse career. I've done full-time, I've done freelance, done part-time, I've done corporate, startup, remote, in office, out of office. So love all the things, but glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Wendy. How about you, Elizabeth, ELV?
Thank you so much, RJB. We love a 3-letter acronym here at the Mom Project. So since Elizabeth Lizotte Brown is such a long name, I too go by my initials, ELB. I am talking to you here from Denver, Colorado, and I am the proud mother of 16-year-old twin boys who are wrapping up their sophomore year in high school. I've been at the Mom Project for 2.5 years, and I currently oversee our partnerships function, where I'm working to build relationships to find even more companies who want to build the workplace of the future by hiring moms.
Woohoo! And I am so honored and happy that I get to work with you on a day-to-day basis. Adrienne, my girl. Adrienne and I partnered a lot. Adrienne, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to the Mom Project, what you do here.
Yeah, hi. I wish I had a 3-letter acronym. I want to make one, RJB and ELB. I'll just be AY. Adrienne Young, I'm on the Work Labs team. We're the Research and Insights Division, and I just passed my 1-year anniversary at Mom Project. So, woo! And like ELB mentioned, what our role is to bring forth the rich data insights that help make those advances in a really prudent business case around why we should. If it's not just for the employee experience, it's also for the outcomes that we get as organizations when we align and map with and serve up what best supports moms, we get better business outcomes too. So I'm thrilled to be here today and speak with all of you, and all of us are power moms. So go power moms.
Woo! Thank you, Adrienne. And Kita, I'm going to kick it over to you, supporting all of the moms internally. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So happy Mother's Monday, everyone. Again, my name is Kita Crawford. I am the Senior Director of our People Operations team here at the Mom Project. I've been here coming up on 2 years here next month. So my team and I are responsible for supporting the internal TMP employees that do the great work of helping moms find jobs, which is exciting. So we're responsible for maximizing profits by leveraging people strategies through hiring, programs, engagement, and compliance. I am a wife, I am a mom of 2, and I am located in Georgia.
Awesome. Thanks, Kita. And I didn't tell you guys where I am. I'm in New Jersey, New York, that tri-state area. So if you're in a New York state of mind, drop a note in the chat. Happy to have every one of you guys wherever you are tuning in from. Now, Kita, You returned from parental leave earlier this year. First things first, we are so glad to have you back. And I know you are juggling so much, but can you tell us a bit about navigating life with an infant?
Yeah, no, listen, I'm excited to be back into the swing of things. You might hear a little fussing in the background. Unfortunately, this is how we roll. So navigating work and life and and a new infant is really challenging. And it's also rewarding though. So first and foremost, I'm going to say that I'm really grateful for organizations like the Mom Project that give employees flexibility to be able to navigate how they want this part of their journey to look. Certainly, I did not have this flexibility the last time around. I will tell you though, like I had the notion, unfortunately, that working from home with an infant would be easy. Don't ask me where I got that from. Just completely made it up in my head. But it is not. It is not easy by any stretch. Thankfully, though, I feel like I've found a bit of a a groove, if you will, that works for me, right? Like, so trying to find that balance. So I'm fine with getting up a little bit earlier in the morning and starting my day at 5 and having that time where I can be truly productive. And then, of course, when my daughter is awake as she is now, unplanned. So, she's on camera. She's, this is just how we work at the Mom Project, where kids are joining meetings, try to schedule meetings where I don't have to be typing or just as present. But of course, when she's down for naps, just really pounding out the work. So just finding that balance of what's my most productive time and really making sure that I can be fully present, both with work as well as the little human that I'm raising. So I just appreciate having the flexibility to be able to do that here in an environment like the Mom Project.
That's amazing. I know we are such huge advocates here at the Mom Project for workplace autonomy. And Adrian, I know you want to talk about this, so we're going to talk about it a little later. But Akita, as a mom and someone who works in HR, how do policies that support parents make things easier during this transition period? And how about even beyond? Because parenthood is a marathon. It's just you enter different phases. It's never over once your infant goes to elementary school, right? So how can policy support parents?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the policies around parental leave are incredibly important. I mean, and quite frankly, more so now than ever before. So, thankfully, again, here at the Mom Project, we do have a parental leave policy. So our employees can go and take this time and this monumental time in their family's life, and they don't have to worry about salary interruption. So we do have a paid parental leave program, which is excellent. Certainly, it's our hope that more employees will join us in doing so. We also have, a flex time where once the parental leave is over, employees have a 4-week period where they can come back into the business, still paid full time, but gradually ramp back up so they can really manage, how to navigate that work-life family balance, because it's a challenge, of course. One of the other benefits that I really appreciate about the Mom Project that's really just ingrained in how we work is, we're really about giving people the flexibility in how they do the work. So again, for me, I've tweaked my schedule. So, my team knows you might see some early morning emails from me. You might see some things late at night. I am not trying to encourage that they, mimic this schedule. That's not it. It's just what works for me to be fully flexible and getting the work done. But in addition to policies, the other thing I would say, the thing that's most important is that, for companies that are looking to implement policy, that's great. That's really important to do. It's also really important that it's authentic to who you are. So having a policy, but not allowing a person to take that time off or feeling punitive if you do so is counterproductive. So just making sure that if you're implementing policy, that is actually really genuine and supports the genuine effort of mom and families being able to have time off.
Thank you. I know that I can speak volumes for the flex return to work. I came back from maternity leave myself at the end of March, and I'm that gal. I'm like, I am going to jump 2 feet in. I'm going to get so much done. It's going to be amazing. And then by day 4, I'm like, ooh, I need this day off because I am exhausted.
Day 4, I was at day 2, but okay.
I was extremely happy to have that 4-day work week because it takes a lot. My mind says I can do things. My body's just like, I don't think so. So really great. Now, Elizabeth, ELB. In your role as VP of Partnerships, you help companies win with mom. So, what are you hearing from companies in terms of what they need and how moms in particular bring value to their operations?
Yeah, thank you. I love that question so much. And we're in a really strange time with labor dynamics right now. Talent continues to be scarce due to boomers retiring earlier than expected, as well as people who left the workforce during the pandemic and haven't returned. But we also have an entire group of capable workers, moms who are sitting on the sidelines or looking for something that speaks to them and their formidable skills. 3 years ago, I would have told you that the reason why people want to hire moms is because moms are great multitaskers. But now we know there's no such thing as multitasking. That's actually task switching when you're doing things, three things at once. And it drains your energy. Please go read the brain science about it and then stop doing it. But with all that said, there's more of an emphasis now from employers on skills-based hiring. And one of the things that we know about moms is that they have incredible skills. So not only the skills that they gained in the workforce prior to maybe taking a caregiving break, but all the things that we learn from being a mom. And whether that's prioritization and project management skills. If you have a toddler, then you have excellent negotiation skills. As far as I'm concerned, you might as well be a hostage negotiator if you have a toddler. Problem solving, innovation, communication, and the list is endless. So we have no shortage of clients who are looking to do the right thing by hiring moms, but sometimes we just have to get them to think about things a little bit differently. We talked a little bit about remote work, as well as other flex factors, which Adrian's research really bears out that flexibility is the number one desired criteria in a role for working parents.
Yeah. Drop a note in the chat if you have changed a diaper and fed a baby and probably fixed something, because we are all job switching and it is exhausting. You are absolutely right. It drains you. Adrian, let's jump to you. As the research arm for the Mom Project, Work Labs explores emerging workforce topics, and ELB touched on this, and key data on what factors are driving and motivating moms and companies. What are some recent findings that have stood out to you, and how do you see this shaping the future for mom in the workforce?
Yeah, I think I can echo what ELB said about if you would have asked us 3 years ago what we were tracking and then talked about that now. What's surprising is actually some things that were already underway pre-COVID just kind of got exacerbated. So it was already a movement that was occurring, and now it just kind of reached fever pitch when it had to during peak COVID. And now we're seeing, the outcomes of that become kind of requirement table stakes for moms to be able to contribute in the way they want. So in our conversations, the Work Labs teams always starts with one-on-one interviews with moms and parents. And over the past few years, we've studied all kinds of topics, childcare and work flexibility, meaningful and measurable DEI. We're right now doing a study on how to stay connected in remote cultures. But the unique thing that Work Labs does is they look at all of those topics through a predictive analytics lens, which is to say it's really about the research team being able to uncover, identify, and then model what are the drivers that influence moms that also link to organization outcomes. We do that because it really helps make advances in those positive changes when we understand the business connection between people satisfaction and performance. So what stands out to me is the prevalence across all of those studies around organizational support and managerial support being the top drivers of predicting those outcomes. It's almost just exactly what Peter said. While she's talking about the benefits, she couched that in what is authentic to the organization, what is true and real. So this idea around having work better looks a whole lot like weaving more humanity into the conversation. And the crux of being able to unleash what ELB just talked about, which are just, again, with power moms, the capacity of moms to contribute inside organizations is unparalleled, and we have the data to show that. But what unlocks that potential is being able to meet them and meet moms where they're at, and being a more supportive and understanding of them as whole humans with complex lives. So kind of this people to people together, finding a new path to reach common shared goals versus employer to employee as opposing forces trying to negotiate this win-lose. And the upside is when we look at the data outcomes, we see when organizations provide those supportive environments for moms, the outcomes are greater for business too, in terms of productivity, retention, referring their peers to work for that organization. It's just moving away from that tension of the way it was to adapt towards a way that really works now. So my most hopeful optimism comes from really learning from the incredible Work Labs research team. We see these huge gains inside organizations that come directly from the hired moms. It keeps all of us motivated. We know that getting more moms hired inside organizations and right roles that help them advance also helps positively change the organization for future moms from the inside out. So the data, again, just keeps showing that more moms is good for work. So we'll stay motivated helping to try to create those conditions and bringing this talent to our partner organizations. And we know that more parents and moms inside organizations, the more better potential for future workplaces for everybody. So that's what I'm excited about from the data.
Ooh, that's awesome. I think we need to take a break. We can all take a break and think, I am a whole person with a complex life. I love that, because most times you think, crap, I have to ask for some time. And it's, you almost apologize for your life. And no, this is my life. This is how it is. I don't have to apologize for that. So drop a note in the chat if that resonated with you. I am a whole person with a complex life. Love it. Wendy, you joined the Mom Project late last year. As someone who's well-versed in the PR and communications world, what drew you to the Mom Project?
Well, the mission's deeply personal to me. When I created my own Mom Project when my son was 18 months old. He's now 20. So I had an executive ally that helped me jump into a freelance, into PR. That was my first Mom Project. And I could be home. And then 9 years later, 9 years ago, actually, I needed to pivot again and create another Mom Project in which I went back into the corporate world. But in order to do that, it was 100% remote. Again, my second Mom Project. So for me, I deeply understand this mission. I've lived it, and I truly want to pay it forward for the next generation, because as I said this back when my son was 18 months old, there has to be a better way. There just has to be. And I'm just so honored to work for a company that we're doing just that. We're finding the better way for moms and caregivers and dads too. So that's what drew me.
And what better thing to draw you, right? When something resonates with you, I truly believe that's kind of when some of your best work happens, and it's fulfilling. It's what gives us joy. Now, you talk with the media regularly. What are the topics that you've been engaging on lately that might be of interest to our audience? And how is the Mom Project using its voice to help educate on these topics?
So it's extremely important. I mean, obviously, if you read the news any other time, every day, there's going to be some hot topic on whether it's workforce management, return to office, you name it. So for us and the team, and just so you know, I need to shout out to the brand marketing team for our Recharge event. They did an amazing job. This is going to be an amazing event. So way to go, team. Anyway, our biggest focus really is, whether it's media, external audiences, partners, is we know they get the mission right away. They get it. What we want to do is really lean into how and the proof points in which we deliver upon helping moms build economic opportunity. So that's twofold. That's education. So when we talk to media, it's a lot of education about what the challenges and issues are that are impacting mom and parents in the workplace. So whether that's flexibility, return to office, childcare challenges, paid leave, mental wellness, and then two, just being that leading expert in the way that we can help voice change for mom. So again, Adrienne talks a lot about our data. We use that quite a bit to educate media, to be that expert voice, to truly say, this is what it can look like with family-friendly policies. This is what it can look like with successful returnships or flexibility in work models that can actually be successful and work for both companies and families alike. So we're elevating the discussion. on ways to build an inclusive culture that can benefit all, but especially moms, who is core to our mission. And I would say one area that we've really been talking to a lot is about returnships and maternityship, which is really interesting because it is a unique way to create on-ramps for moms as they re-enter the workforce, get support if they're out on family leave, and really truly kind of embrace this inclusive culture within the companies that we show support wherever you are in your journey. So for us, again, it's education and really being that voice of change for mom. Again and again, we'll just keep beating that drumbeat until everyone's heard it. But I can guarantee you, not everyone has. So we have a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, and we're so grateful for all the work you and your team are doing, because it really, the more people that get it, the better for mom. What advice, and this is for the entire panel, what advice would you offer women and all of our Recharge attendees today who strive to grow in their careers while maintaining balance with outside of work obligations? I'll start with you, ELB.
Great, thank you. And I think it's really important for people to hear is that you don't find balance, you create it. And you create it with boundaries. And I think we think about boundaries exclusively around how we schedule our time and how we engage with people. But I'd also like to put out there about the boundaries that we should be setting in our consumption of social media. There's so much out there about what your mothering experience should be. And that content is often toxic and undermining and fundamentally untrue. Every family, every kid is different. I have identical twins and they're very different people. So, but when we're letting this idealized and fake vision guide our experience, I think we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. So create your balance.
There you go. Kita?
That's a great response, and to mimic that, I would actually say be intentional, right? So exactly what you're saying, be intentional. I always like to think or like to work with the goal in mind. So if you're working with the goal in mind, you'll be purposeful with how you spend your time, both at work and with your family. And then that will dictate and guide, how you decide to, repurpose your time to learn more and do more for that next opportunity. If you're not intentional, you can just, flailing around and doing things that doesn't help you meet that next goal. So I would really encourage all of you to work with a goal in mind and to please be intentional.
Thank you. Adrienne?
Well, not to get too Worth Labs data, but I'll look at it from a formulaic standpoint. And we do have a lot of data that supports. Worth Labs team said kind of an exhaustive study around this too, around integration, work-life integration, which is to conceptualize it as a distinctly you formula. Just like ELB and Keita are saying, if you're looking at it from a comparative standpoint and trying to mimic and model what someone else is doing, it's never going to fit, because it's not specific to you. So looking at all those aspects of your life and how can you integrate all of that in a way that's harmonious for you instead of trying to divvy it up as different things you keep in balance. That can be a helpful filter for as you're making your formula. Thank you.
Yeah. I think, and Keita mentioned it, that, she's okay with waking up earlier and sending out emails if it means that she gets some other time with her kiddos. And that is making work for you, which is so important. What about you, Wendy?
So for me, what really helped me realize was that every year it will get better and it will be different. So I have olders, but I've been where you all are right now, right? Your 3-year-old's running around, probably throwing Cheerios everywhere. You're trying to get your older off to school. Every year it will get better. And that helped me through some of those harder days. And what may be an issue now is going to be less of an issue next year. And it just changes. So understand that. And it kind of gives you a little sense of relief and a sense of calm. And I also feel that it helps as you work through each year, your kids become more confident. They build this confidence. It's really helpful for them. And you see that and you can help support that. And just know that it's temporary. It's not forever. So just give yourself some grace, forgiveness, and the oh wells. We'll figure it out next time if we drop that ball or 5 balls. But every year it gets a little bit easier and you can breathe a little bit easier, because I know exactly where many of you are. And I would like to tell you that.
It gets better. I like to say, this too shall pass. And
It will,
get out.
absolutely.
There's an
Glad to
end.
hear that. We are in the thick of it right now. So
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Impermanent.
Everyone, it is such a pleasure to call each and every one of you part of my tribe as we work together and grow and learn together from each one of you in a different stage. So thank you for being a part of the Mom Project and a part of an amazing tribe of moms that bring each one of us joy in some little thing that you do every single day. And for everyone joining us for the recharge, thank you for joining us in this first session. You're all inspirational moms, and you guys out there, like ELB said, consume positive things or just don't consume any of it at all. You're amazing. Someone once told me, the bar starts here as a mom. Like, you wake up and you're amazing. Anything else you do is just like on top of that. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, panel. It was such a great time having you. I want you all to enjoy the rest of the recharge. Back to you, Melissa.